Test, what, two? Oh man, I hope it ain't too much of an echo. What's up? You know, what's up, Evelyn Underwood in the house? This is his lordship. You know, I wish I had time to learn how to be rude and disrespectful and curse people out and all that extra stuff. I don't really know how to do all that. I didn't grow up that way, you know. I don't curse around kids or adults or seniors, stuff like that. But anyway, I know too many people. I'm chilling. My leg hurt a little bit, but yeah, I'm chilling. Might check one, two. You know, I've lived long enough to meet some interesting people. You know what I'm saying? And I met the Queen of England. I met Ronald Reagan. Actually, I met them together. And Dianne Feinstein, senator, before she was a senator. I've met the first black detective in the city. And, he just so happened to be one of several detectives on a famous murder case, the Zebra murders. I don't know if you ever heard of it. And, he wrote a book and they're trying to get Jamie Foxx or Will Smith to play him in a series based on the book. And his wife is no longer with us, but his wife used to buy my son Easter egg candy, or give him Easter egg candy every year. And he moved from being the first black detective on to being the first black chief of police of the city. But he's well known for the Zebra murder case, and he's also known for something called Fajita Gate, where he had to go into retirement because they were hating on him as being the first black chief of police. So somebody probably set him up, So I just went through somebody's repertoire, through somebody's material, and month after month, year after year, they yelling, arguing, doxing, exposing, making fun of black people, putting up funny black people pictures, making fun of black people's hair and skin tone and teeth. This is a black female doing this. One of the main people calling victims, but has a history of being vulgar and all kind of stuff. There's no way that they could, try to get somebody in trouble with their history as a troublemaker. but they throw rocks and hide their hands. But anyway, this is how you make real content. Anybody will stop for a car accident. Anybody would stop and look at a Sherm head with their intestines hanging out. Anybody will stop and look at a fist fight. You see what I'm saying? Somebody drunk and staggering, somebody standing on the edge about to commit suicide, standing on the edge of a building. That doesn't mean that you're popular or people like you or you're entertaining. People go to the zoo all the time to see the pink flamingos, to see the tigers, the lions, and the monkeys, and then they go home. I'm sure if they had all season pass or they live close to the zoo, that they would go back quite often and look at the same exhibit they saw as a child. But, maybe 4 or 5 times a year, they would go to that same old zoo to see those same old animals, because you just don't get enough of watching the freak show. Watching something from a safe distance. So if you do have 100, 300, 1,000, 3,000 people in your room, do not assume that it's your fans. And if you got views from people showing up to look at a train wreck, how valuable are those views? You see? And people, they probably be just as high as the content creator, because the person is very honest, saying, I just want the views and the money. Other than that, I could give a fuck about y'all. When I turn this thing off, I'm doing my thing. I ain't thinking twice about the internet. But when you cross his lordship, when you lied on him, because nobody else, not even Suey, Suey kind of lied, because he said, I pick on LaTanya, but I got a video with LaTanya that begs to differ. LaTanya said she understood what I was trying to do. And then I got emails to support my efforts. I was actually trying to help her and save her from people like Suey, who used her for views, just like, what's her name, who call everybody broke, but she lives in low-income housing. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick live, and I wanted to read out of this book, and I encourage you to go buy the book. I have a autographed copy from the author, because he was a friend and a client. Very intelligent man, part of history. Being able to talk to somebody from that era, I didn't get a chance to talk to Huey or H. Rap Brown or Jesse or somebody like that, but I did get a chance to talk to Prentice Earl Sanders. All right. And I'm just going to read just a couple of paragraphs out of this book, and then I'm going to end the show, because this is really a test. I just wanted to see how the full package is going. And thanks for asking how I'm doing. I'm not really peeping the chat out. I like to do these experimental shows at night, of course. And we're gonna do it like this. All right, we don't need any distractions. I just need some ambient sounds. So this is a chapter called The Ghetto Reward in the book called The Zebra Murders. Where's my remote? I need some more light. There we go. Let's see here. There had been another killing, but this wasn't a shooting. This was something that could only be described as butchery. A slaying so gruesome, so clearly a product of torture, that it seemed to spring from the time of Torquemada and the Spanish Inquisition. Wow. rather than the 20th century San Francisco. Wow. The police records, the victim was identified as unknown body number 169. Among the cops, he became known as the Christmas Turkey. The body was found where Pacheco Street meets the Great Highway and out in San Francisco's Sunset District. Now, Doran Raquilia, a young nurse at Presidio Hospital, she spotted it as she was walking her dog on the beach, and the dog caught the smell first, barking as they neared the bundle. Now, Doreen saw it. Something human and bloody was wrapped up in the canvas and plastic. She couldn't see much more than that, but she didn't want to. The smell alone was enough to keep her away and make her call the police. Morning fog still lingered by the time Sanders had picked up Guilford, his partner, and they made their way out to the beach, and the medical crew on the scene had pulled away a bit of the plastic from the body, enough to allow them to make a pronouncement of death. So I haven't read this prior, so I'm hearing this for the first time too. But this is page 100 in the chapter called The Ghetto Reward. Now, the odds of this Death Jones, as Sanders called unidentified male bodies, being anything other than dead was non-existent, but rules were rules. It was a little rocky at that part of the beach, and Sanders recalled, and you had to go down a slope to get to it, but Jill wouldn't come anywhere close. He hated stiffs, and just getting near them made him sick. And by the time we got there, you could smell this dead Jones all the way up on the road. So I went down alone. The closer you got, the worse the smell got. I don't think it was in the water long because the tissue hadn't deteriorated much. You could see sand that had collected inside the plastic and was stuck to the flesh in places. With some stiffs, you could have made yourself look for the, what did it say? With some stiffs, you have to make yourself look for the little things because it's the details that matter. But here I found myself focusing on the details right away because every time you looked at the body as a whole, it was like a electric jolt, and it went up and down your spine. The body wasn't completely unwrapped until we were back at the Hall of Justice, but what you could see here was enough. The head had been hacked off where the neck meets the shoulders, and the hands and feet were gone. All that was left was the torso, and it was all bound up wire-like, like one of those frozen birds we got each year from Charlie's, like a Christmas turkey. The SFPD searched the beach and the coastline for days looking for severed heads and hands and feet, checking the currents to see if they might have been carried into the bay, hoping to be able to use them to identify the body. They never could, and whoever the poor soul was, he remained anonymous, his identity defined only by the horror of his death. Now, there's two kinds of homicide cops: those who view corpse as a challenge, the inspection of which they either have no endure or avoid altogether, or those who see them as an opportunity where every morbid detail and equal pages of testimony. And Sanders was the latter. It usually was as easy for him to spend time with the corpse as with a witness. This dead Jones was different. I think I'm gonna stop there. But I encourage you to look this book up. I got the hardcover. I have the autographed copy. But and he was a friend, the author, and he was a part of Black history. He was one of the first Black detectives in San Francisco, and he was the first Black chief of police. And his wife was very, very intelligent, very smart lady, very classy, from Texas. I can't say enough about her. They both were educated. And their son was a music lawyer and corporate lawyer, did work in China. He knew Suge Knight and all those people. And their daughter was dean over a very prominent Catholic school, and she had a license to carry. And yeah, you know, it's it's people that you know, people that you associate with, people that you just sit there and listen. Sometimes you don't need to talk all the time. You don't need to lead the conversation. When you're around people like these people that have a history, who's traveled, who's experienced Jim Crow and was there when we was fighting different countries and just going through stuff, you know, they have a lot to offer, a lot of wisdom. You don't speak around these people. You listen. They allow you to overhear conversations. And even if you read this book, The Zebra Murders, it's not just talking about the actual murders. The book is also telling you what Blacks were experiencing and what the atmosphere and the temperature and the season was like in the city at that time. And this Zebra guy had people spooked. If a white guy drove through the Black neighborhood at night, like 11, and if he was in a 4-door car like a Dodge, you would see the hardest brother break running. You would see people coming from a little party, house party, project party. They see a white dude in a 4-door car at night in the hood, people broke running because this dude was serious about his killings. So they never really found him, but a lady said that she was his daughter, and she said her father was the murderer. And some people even speculate that the whole thing was a hoax to help police officers further their career. So we don't know, but this book makes me feel that it was legit, you know. I have a library, you know, before there ever was a Google. I had a library. Let me see what the chat is saying.
Repeat that. Whatever it is that I'm out here. That I wrote Dolo. A lot of you niggas is pussy. Tell you that. Pussy.
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing tonight? This is for the playback. I hope people catch the playback. I just wanted to make a couple of announcements and I'm out because I gotta take my son to school. Tomorrow is the last day of his finals, and he will be graduating June 4th, and he's already accepted into a university and already set up for his dorm. And stuff like that. I'm very proud of this young man because he's going to be an adult, a couple of weeks after he graduates, which is wonderful. And yeah, so life is short, and a brother don't make it this far by making bad decisions. You see, so it was a bad decision to engage with someone who doesn't have a future or a life. Somebody tried to drag me into the beef sector, and they know that I'm easily triggered because all you got to do is just lie on me. I just hate liars. I don't care if you lie on somebody else. I'm not the YouTube police. I'm not the YouTube MPs. But lie on me, then there's a problem. And really, I don't be tripping. I just use it as an excuse to practice, roasting and making fun of someone. I really don't take it personal. I just use it as an excuse. So anyway, I'm coming to a point in my YouTube career on this channel is I'm going to start making, conservative content. So I'm working on a movie right now, and if I can't get it in the film festival, if I can't get it in the Cannes, if I can't get it in the Sundance, then I'm going to feature it right here. And I promise you, once I get over this little thing here, which will be probably within the next month, where everything's going to be legit, where I can have members only shows. I promise to make a movie every 4 months and premiere it here. So make sure you tell a friend, get people to sub. We just need 30 more subs, and I'll just be producing content, but I'll be producing full feature movies once every 4 months. It'll be something to do. So I'm working on a series called Traumatic, where people tell you their stories of triumph and overcoming things. So the first story is about a guy who was dead for 20 minutes. He got shot point blank in the neck while he was driving Lyft. But he wasn't even a Lyft driver. He was an educator and all that stuff, but he stopped doing all that stuff to be a Lyft driver, so it was crazy. But another guy who's a producer, in and out of penitentiary, he's gangbanger. He caught cancer and he survived cancer, and he turned his life around. No more drugs and all that stuff, and becoming a citizen, contributing to society now. And just story after story, you know, after a while, I'm sitting around and I know 3 people that's been shot in the head. Um, I know people who beat cancer. It's like I didn't know people like that before, but now, uh, you know, right before COVID, and during COVID, I started hearing these stories after stories. I mean, one guy, he caught tongue cancer from complications of HPV, and then they cured it from his tongue, but it spread to his lungs. He got stage 4, you know, and he said, yeah, it was from oral sex and all that. So I'm a big fan of Soft White Underbelly, and I'm also a fan of like shows like First 48 and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to find a happy medium where these guys tell their stories, and then I go off to the B-real footage and try to give you an idea so you can envision the scene where it all went down, whether driving by it or actually reenacting the scene myself, or letting you see how it feels to run after getting shot and falling down in front of a house. The camera will be shot in a way where you actually feel like you're the victim as the story is told. So I promise you that if you use your troll accounts, tell a friend, help me get those last 30 subs, and I promise you a movie, an independent film by me with a soundtrack, once every 4 months, but it'll be members only content, and that's what I'm trying to do. So thank you for your congratulations and everything. Thank you, LMS YT, and thank you for coming by the show. I know it's late because of the time zones and stuff like that. I appreciate everybody coming out, and I'm going to end it right here, and we're going to continue with the positive content, and I'm not going to focus on the back alley stuff that goes on YouTube. I'm not going to focus on the trash of YouTube. So thank you for coming out. It is all good.
Welcome to Restore Shift. We're so excited to have you guys